Hello everybody, I'm going to call this one Tales of the Tomb Builder, which is a stories about things related to me and my modding activities. Now, this is related to you guys that are watching this, so I'm actually taking the mick out of you, right? You get offended if you like, but I found it hilarious, right? Now, when I'm making a mod, I know documentation is going to be needed, and I know people have difficulty, so I write the documentation. But blokes being blokes, we don't read documentation. Admit it, we don't read documentation. Anyway, it doesn't matter how helpful your documentation is, if people don't read it, they're never going to find out. That's the reality here. Let's just be honest with each other and accept that reality, because it is a reality. Anyhow, I used to get really annoyed at that. And I used to write really good documentation, and it's getting better and better and longer and longer and longer. Until I realised one day that, if they aren't reading the document when it was that big, they're not going to read it when it's that big. People are just going to ignore it. So I could put any amount of information I liked in the documentation, but they were still going to ask me stupid questions on the forum. Questions I'd already answered 1,000 times on the forum and in the documentation. So I used to, this drive me nuts. It's one of the original reasons I started falling out with some players, is because I got sick of me. Literally at one point, I was asked the same question 8 times in a row. How do you do this? Answer. How do you do this? Answer. How do you do this? Answer. The same thing. All they had to do was look one post up and they would have seen the answer. And they didn't even do that. Not even on the forum. So anyway, this is how I adapted to that. I came up with ways where they couldn't avoid it. Right? I started putting the answers in the mods. First of all, it was just a dry Giscard character giving explanations of things. Then I thought, no, I can do better than that. These people keep trying to cheat their way past locked doors, and then they complain to me that I've broken the Thieves Guild, when actually I haven't touched the Thieves Guild. They picked their way through the door and triggered it early. They broke the Thieves Guild. So I thought, how can I teach people not to do that when they don't read the documentation? And I thought to myself, I know. I'll put a doorway in the side of the Arcane University. I'll name the other room Keep Out, so when you mouse over the door it says Keep Out, and I will lock it, so they need a key to open it. Anyhow, sure enough, players come along, locked door. This shouldn't be locked, should it? We have to pick it. So they go and pick the lock. The door opens, they walk in, right, the room loads, and there's a table in front of them with a book and a bottle of beer. What they don't know is a bottle of beer weighs 2 tons, right? They can pick it up, but once it's in their inventory, they won't be able to walk. When they open the book, the beer is teleported into their inventory, so they're now stuck on the spot, they can't move, right? The book says, you really shouldn't be here, should you? The doorway behind is replaced by a wall. You can't pick your way through a wall. So they can't get out, they're trapped. And then I spawn, I think it's 9 liches around them, 9 level 50 liches. That's magic casting skeletons, basically. Real hard nuts. And then I just let them die. I let the liches kill them. Now, users of my mods saw that as a challenge and started calling it the 8 Lynch Club or whatever, right? So they kick themselves up, go into the room and be prepared to fight these liches. That kind of backfired a bit. The other time, well, one of the other times I did something similar, it was when I was making, I think it was a College of Winterhold mod or Dark Lord Grimoire, one of the two in Skyrim. Same problem again, people weren't reading instructions, they were just following arrows. The Oblivion Arrow syndrome. Oh, follow arrow, must follow arrow. Arrow's gone up, arrow's gone down. So anyhow, what I did is I had the arrow point at the wrong objective. And I said in the briefing, ignore the arrow. right? Do not follow the arrow. It is an illusion. It will take you to the wrong place. Instead, simply go to this room. Anyway, that's all it said. So they knew to go to that room and ignore the arrow. And when people followed the arrow, they got took to another room with another book. And when they opened it, it says, you must be one of those special mages. It says, I think I know how to handle this. And it just shuts down all the quests. There's no more quests after that for them. They get no quests in the college at all, right? And then when you walk around, when you walk around to like areas where you practice spell casting and you do the light spell, practice that, the illusion spell, I think, right? The teacher's sitting there, just reading his book when you walk up to him, and you can hear this talking coming from the distance going, hello, is there anybody there? Somebody's turning out the lights. I'm lost, help, it's dark in here. And it goes on like that. And you talk to the teacher and he goes, what's going on? He goes, oh, they came here for training but went in there without learning the light spell, so now they're lost. Says these are very special mages. And I just take the piss out of these people that can't follow instructions for the rest of the mod. And guess what? People stopped asking silly questions. But yeah, see, that's how it goes from people not reading instructions over to me taking the piss. I've done it many times, and quite frankly, instead of getting frustrated at them, I started laughing my head off at them. It converted what was basically a very frustrating experience into a hilarious experience, as you can probably have noticed by my attitude towards it now. But yeah, that's one of the tales from the Tomb Builder. See you in the next one.